Since the dawn of pharmaceutical companies in the early to mid-1900s, we have been indebted to them. Loyalty to pharmaceutical companies because of our elongated life expectancy began with the first mass-produced medication, insulin. Type 1 diabetes was no longer a death sentence. Similarly, the mass production of penicillin saved thousands of soldiers' lives during World War II. However, over generations, initially good intentions have led to disastrous results. Evidenced by the inflated costs and the opioid epidemic, the big pharmaceutical companies have done more harm than good for our country. In America, the costs of pharmaceuticals are substantial, even in comparison to other westernized countries. In fact, from 2011 to 2018, 13 worldwide pharmaceutical companies received 45% of their revenue from the United States alone. When they are asked about this considerable difference in revenue, pharmaceutical companies typically cite the circular investment into research for further medication development. However, David Belk, MD, and Paul Belk, PhD, examined the financial records of 13 major pharmaceutical companies over 8 fiscal years. They were able to determine that these companies spent only 17% of their total revenue on research and 27% on marketing. Furthermore, the line between marketing and research is often blurred. For example, Bristol Myers Squibb, a well-known pharmaceutical company, recently had separate listings for marketing and advertisement. This means that, for some reason, Bristol Myers Squibb didn't consider advertising to be a component of marketing prior to 2014. By misleading the general public, the pharmaceutical industry is able to inflate costs and, in turn, make a bigger profit. Although the pharmaceutical industry has significantly extended our life expectancy, this has come to a grinding halt with the crisis of the opioid epidemic. Between 2014 and 2016, the life expectancy in the United States declined from 78.8 to 78.5 for the first time in 100 years. This was mainly due to a surge in drug overdoses and suicides linked to the opioid crisis. However, pharmaceutical industries have continued to manufacture, lobby for, and advertise opioids to the general population. They have even maintained that opioids have a very low addiction rate and are very effective. By advertising opioids' low addiction rate, people are more comfortable taking prescription opioids, thus creating revenue for the industry. Furthermore, when people inevitably become addicted, companies make additional revenue off of medications such as methadone, which helps to treat opioid addiction. Despite current restrictions on American manufacturers, opioid-related deaths are still increasing in Western countries. This upward trend, continuing in tandem with opioid advertisement, is indicative of the ethical sacrifices these companies are willing to make in order to gain profit. The overall lack of remorse for any big pharmaceutical companies for contributing to this epidemic is a vivid illustration of the value they place on human life. All in all, from the outrageous costs to their hand in the opioid crisis, it is evident that the pharmaceutical industry is a business intent on creating more clients. By denying these inherent misdeeds, the industry can continue to treat us as a sea of customers expendable for profit. This, in turn, is at the expense of our well-being and that of our country's health. Thank you.